tell me a little bit about yourself, how, where you emigrated from, how you came over, how you've stayed over, and how you see your future here.
Well, my name's Arnold Moctezuma. I'm 30 years old. I came to the U.S. at the age of 1. I don't remember anything. Basically, I crossed with my mom, her back, her arms, and I've been here ever since. I didn't find out this term undocumented, which apparently I was, until I was 13 years old. So you can imagine I grew up having similar conversations with my classmates, my peers. The one thing that I remember all the time was, as children, even into adult age, everyone talks about travel, going places. And when that reality hit, it was the first time that I realized none of this applies to me. None of this is real for me. And I actually went through that moment, moving on, a period of shutdown where I just didn't care, nothing mattered. I just have no self-value because, again, I couldn't do what my peers were able to do. So almost like my life didn't matter.
Tell us a bit about what you have been doing in the last few decades and how old you are now.
Let's see. Well, again, I'm 30 years old. I'm actually back in college, which I dropped out of twice. First time I went to college was right after high school when I first graduated and, went on ahead the way that everyone else does in 2007. But I dropped out after my first semester, realizing that I didn't know the system very well. I didn't have the guidance that I needed or just communication, the connections that I needed to succeed in college. So I dropped out and I started working for a tech company, which fortunately for me at that time, the company took me in and trained me directly. But I realized in my time with them, especially up to the day that I quit, that this was only going to be short time for me. And again, I was blessed to have this opportunity with the company. But when I quit the company and started looking again at other career or even job options, not having a college degree really held me back. Being undocumented held me back even more. At that time, DACA wasn't even a term. At that time, they were actually just arguing the DREAM Act, which got shut down several times when it came to vote. And again, every time that happened, it was just like a stab in my chest, not even in the back. It was just like full frontal stabbing because here I am trying to make something out of myself, and every direction that I turn to, it's like they're trying to hold me back. And I don't always understand why. I do what I'm supposed to do. I stay quiet at the moments when I feel that I shouldn't even speak up, whether it's with cops or authority or teachers. This is the effect that it created on me. I became a very closed off person. But now with DACA in place, which I do qualify for, thankfully, it's been a blessing to be able to go to school and achieve even just my associate's degree, which took me 12 years. 12 years of me going back and forth trying to determine, is this even a good choice? Is this even realistic for me? Because even if I graduate with a degree, will I still be employable? But again, DACA does give us certain benefits, Social Security, driver's license, which makes it easier, not easy, but easier to have what some people would call a normal life. For me, I don't have a normal life.
Or the requirements of DACA pretty stringent in order to be eligible?
Yes, the requirements for DACA, it's a pretty strong vetting process. And again, one of the misunderstandings for anyone who doesn't know about DACA falls on the fact that because we receive certain benefits, some people think that we've had it made. We're not citizens. We don't have those benefits. Sorry, what's the question again?
That's okay. You've answered it about being stringent.
Okay.
So where do you see your future within DACA and your future here in the United States?
So let me go back on that one because with DACA, so the vetting process for DACA is very strict. I know that one of the things that you cannot get away with is not reporting whether you have a criminal record or not. That's something that they need to know, and not disclosing that kind of information could pretty much have you rejected for the program and prohibit you from applying again. So, and also, if you do get rejected the first time for DACA, you just cannot apply ever again. So I am very thankful that I was accepted the first time and that I could renew twice at this point.
So, do you see a pathway to citizenship through DACA?
No, there is no pathway to citizenship with DACA. And that is something that people like myself, people in my group, our label, which I'll say being called a dreamer is a very big insult. You know, I hate that term because it just pretty much says that all I'm doing is dreaming, which I'm not. I can prove that all of my struggles have come with successes, but they've also come with a lot of stumbling, a lot of falls that I've gotten up from. And yes, I would love for a pathway to citizenship so that I can continue living what, again, is this American dream, which for me is just a normal life.
So since, let's talk about that misnomer, dreamer. What is it that you do dream of?
What I dream of is stability. You know, just as anybody else would dream of or hope for. Just a stable home, stable job, a stable way of living where I can enjoy, again, another term, this idea of freedom. You know, what is freedom? A lot of it just means for me keeping my head low and not getting in anyone's way. But yeah, a pathway to citizenship would definitely create that stability and that idea of freedom that a lot of Americans, you know, hold on to.
Thank you so much. God bless. And we feel honored that you shared a story with us.
Thank you. Back to, you know, what being undocumented means for me or for anyone that I've come across. Relationships, it makes a big difference on how we pick and live our relationships. Because I know many instances where I purposely ruin my relationships because there's this idea, if I'm with an American person and we start, again, back to my childhood dilemmas, start planning this life of travel and excitement, well, it brings me down thinking that my partner, my wife, can travel to other parts of the world, and meanwhile, I can't. So it leaves me feeling that I'm holding someone else back.
And that really lets us appreciate the struggles that you go through on a day-to-day basis and having an open-ended future, but we commend you for being strong and brave.
Thank you.
And continuing your work, and proud to call you a Latino brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank
that's actually one part where a lot of people, they think just because you marry an American citizen, you automatically get citizenship. That's not true either.
Yeah.
The process is very expensive.
And the data, by the way, shows it's only 8% marry a citizen. And it's extremely low. So, you know, that perception can be thrown out with data.
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.